Hello and welcome to this Jane's Weather Update. It is Friday the 12th of July. There's a lot going on as usual. Let's unpack it now. There is a low that is out here over the ocean that's about to head further south. Interesting. We've got a juicy rain band that's moving across the southeast of the country. Look how much rain it actually delivered this time, particularly to these very dry parts of southeast South Australia, Western Victoria. 10, even 17 millimetres as that came through, some on the other side of the border as well. So a nice handy fall in through there, but did really miss the far southwest. Okay, so that's moving in. It's running into high pressure, so it's a block. So all of this is dissipating as it comes in. Over in the west, there is a big cloud band that is moving in, but have a look at the wind direction of this here. Cold front moving across the southeast. No more stubborn high pressure sitting there for now anyway. And in behind these cold fronts, it's actually a series of them, the air is coming from somewhere down near Antarctica. So that is very chilly where that has originated, and that is now coming up to the eastern states with another big, extensive cold outbreak. Let's have a look at that in action in terms of our weather map here. So here's this little blocking high pressure system. It's not strong, but it is in the way. So this first cold front has dissipated, and that will now just slide away. The one in behind it doesn't quite reach the mainland there, but there is still plenty of these to come up in through here. Now, the trailing high pressure way back southwest of Perth, that is usually good news for the snowfields because you can get these systems come right up. But this high is about to move right in through here. This low is going to head down into here, and that's going to create a very interesting situation for us. So in terms of rainfall, this is what's likely. Queensland, not really seeing much. I'll get to snow in a second because that is on the cards. Over in the west, there's a little bit on Sunday, mainly from that cloud you can see now, and then again late next week. It's Thursday, Friday that comes through. Otherwise, in quite of a break over there, thanks to that high pressure. In the southeast, here we have falls across the southwest there. Lovely. Heading into here, you've got the low that is coming down. It is skipping the east coast this time. It's too far off the coast when it's moving past. Then it comes closer on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and really affects eastern parts of Tasmania and southeastern parts of Victoria, just running along in through there. But does it extend north of the ranges there? Nope. The ranges, they are the drying influence. It's coming in from the southeast, so these areas see much less rain than what is happening here, particularly in Gippsland and southeast New South Wales. So that is the focus for the next week as to the big rainfalls: southeast Victoria, southeast Victoria, southeast New South Wales, and eastern parts of Tasmania. Okay, let's have a look at what that means overall in terms of temperature. So I talked about that cold Antarctic air that is being moved right up here and then extending right up through the eastern states. It is driven by a high that is going to be sitting in through here and the low that is moving in through here. Now, this pattern, you'll notice there is a lot of blue there. A couple of days ago, that was blue across the entire thing, but things have changed this morning. The low is coming close enough to increase the rainfall totals. That's a good thing, but it does bring in a little bit of this warm Tasman sea air that's moving around the backside of that low. So it may not be quite as chilly as we first thought across Victoria. However, the cold Antarctic air, it is moving across Victoria to start off with, and then it's extending right up here into Queensland. And we may have some snow on the ranges west of Brisbane as we go through next week. That's how chilly it is. All of this cold air is extending across the country, but not quite making it into here. Got high pressure here, so it warms up as it moves around. And it's actually quite a warm week for the southwest of the country. That is until Thursday when the next system comes through. That's when the next big change is there. So Thursday over in the west. Before that, it is quite nice. All right, so that's in terms of our temperature. Rainfall, you can clearly see where that low is likely to go. So the low is coming in through here. It's affecting the eastern parts of Tasmania, these parts of Victoria, just into New South Wales. But it dries out as you head further north because the rain can't get that far around the low and it doesn't go over the ranges. This one here, the first part of the week, that is looking very dry indeed, but from Thursday onwards, that's our big change. So that gets included in this week because it's Monday through to the following Sunday. So that's what we're looking at next week. Let's head into week 2, which begins on Monday, the 22nd of July. So the week after that, the cold outbreak from last time, that lasted 2.5 weeks. This one is not going to. So it's just a weekly affair this time. We're going to feel it, we're going to get through it, and then it'll come back to being above average temperatures in the week after. So you've got that on the horizon. Instead, that big system that kicks things off Thursday, Friday in the southwest there, that is going to drag cold air lingering into the next week. Having a look at the rainfall associated with that. So this is week 2 in through here. And so that's Monday, the 22nd of July onwards. That is a lot of green. Now, it's not down in through here. This isn't an East Coast thing at all. It's west of the ranges. It's all coming in from the west and moving through. So it hits the southwest, but it should also hit that southeastern area as well. I was talking about high pressure that has been a block so much this year that has really impacted how much rain we can get in through these parts. That looks like it is actually dissipating. Now, it's not guaranteed, but all the signs are sort of heading in that direction. This should be some good news for those that have been missing out on the rain here, and I'll show you that in action. Here is week 2. Sorry, let's go back to week 1. So not great falls in through here. We had the rain that's moved through. Now there's not a lot in the next week. Moving into week 2, yes, there is potential there. Going to week 3, which is the very end of July, you'll notice there is green across a large part of this part of the country, not into the east. Heading into the first week of August, into the 12th of August, again, lots of green in through here and in here as well. Heading into here later in August, so from the 12th, there is more green. It is here in the southeast. And there's one more that we can go to. There's still a little bit of green there. So maybe the tide is turning a little bit and high pressure won't be acting like a block to stop these weather systems coming through. This is hopefully where we're heading. All right, let's have a look at SAM. So this one is our Southern Annular Mode. It tells us whether we're likely to get troughs and lows in the weather pattern or strong cold fronts. And here we are heading up into this. So that is that cutoff low. That is, here we are moving up through here. Here's our Tasman low. It's going to come down in through here. So that is what is causing that one to move through. So there's on our SAM just in through there. Okay, having a look at the MJO. This is now in our neck of the woods, so it encourages tropical moisture to connect with that. And that is why we're seeing all of this rainfall is coming in through here, because it's where the low actually moves, and sitting just in here affects Tasmania and southeastern parts of the country. Okay, so that's our SAM and MJO. Sea surface temperature anomaly. This is how much warmer or cooler than average the ocean is. And if you look at this one now, the Earth is on fire. This is a bug. It is not right. Unfortunately, we haven't quite located it. My team is at work on it. I'm hounding them every morning, and hopefully they will find a fix soon. So this is a bug. This is not real. But I wanted to show you this today to A, say that it is a bug, but B, just remember where these boxes are. That's why we have our map here. We've put the boxes on top of it so that we can see. Over in the Indian Ocean, this is one we look at. We also look at the waters off Indonesia and through here. In the Pacific Ocean, we have a look at this big box that is in the middle of that. So let's look at the actual data. Here we have, over in that box, over in the west, we're starting to see some blues appearing. So this is cooler than average water. We've got a lot of reds that is in through here. Now I'm going to shift to a different map as well. Instead of sea surface temperature anomaly, how much warmer or cooler than average, this is just the sea surface temperature. And it clearly shows that these areas here are cooler and these areas here are warmer. So there is an imbalance starting to happen in the Indian Ocean. We know that when that imbalance kicks in, it affects the rainfall that happens here in Australia. So across this year so far, we have been sitting up here in what is fairly known as we almost got there. It was 7 weeks rather than 8, and that's the threshold to make it. But that's essentially a positive Indian Ocean dipole. It came out, it went back in, it came out, and then very recently it's done this steady decline. Now, this one model in through here, which is the UK, that one now for a little while, it moved from the other ones. All the other ones were heading up into a positive. This one went, nope, I don't like that, and went down into a negative IOD. Negative encourages those juicy northwest cloud bands, as in a feed of moisture coming in from the Indian Ocean, which if you're in southern Australia and you get the highs to move out of the way, that is absolute gold, because that delivers our rain for us. So this model has been on it. So the UK, big tick for you. It noticed that, yes, it was going to go down. The other ones are still liking an uptick. Now, is this just leftover old guidance? Not sure. Potentially. These do only update once a month, so they may be old information. This one is coming down as well. So that's now 2 that are heading here into a negative IOD. All of these are now just there briefly and then come out and sit in neutral. Negative, we like that. It delivers rainfall because it has that extra feed of moisture. Positive, we don't. It turns the tap off from the northwest. What it also does is encourages high pressure to sit over southeastern Australia. We don't want that. We've had that for a very, very long time. We would like those highs to please move out of the way. And this may indicate that their dominance is waning. This is good news if this is where we are heading. Having a look at the Pacific Ocean. So again, here is the box out in through here. Ignore the fact that the world is on fire in this image of the map. Here's the actual data that's underneath it. So the box is in through here, and we have got surfs up out over the east. So that is the first stages of transitioning from El Nino into La Nina. Same sort of thing. All of the moisture is pushed from the Pacific Ocean into Australia. So that helps with our moisture source. What are they suggesting? Now, this moving through here, we got to a blue stage there, and then it kind of stalled. So here we did. We came out of the El Nino. We sat in through here. It started to get the blue, and then it didn't do very much for the last month. Now it has started to go back down again. So there's a hint more blue in there. That means we are heading in this direction. Now, if we were to reverse 4 months from here, we notice that all of these, not all of them, but most of them, everything was at least going in this direction. We had 3 models that crossed that threshold into that new situation around August to September. So some of them were late July, but it was generally around August. We're still not quite there yet, are we? So we've still a little time to wait before we get there. Will it actually make it there that quickly? I'm not completely convinced on that one. Anyway, but the forecasting guidance here is 1, 2, 3 models that like us being across that threshold as we go through August. We've got another one, but that doesn't get there until late in the year in November. But still, this is a push from the Pacific Ocean that helps us in spring and in summer in terms of providing that moisture from the east. So this is coming in, which would indicate better falls as we go through the later part of winter and into spring. This one leaves it until almost we reach summer and just kind of bounces in there. It doesn't quite go across. The other 3 are sitting here firmly in the neutral zone where it doesn't push and it doesn't hinder. None of them are up in through here, but some long range modeling that I was looking at this morning, some of these do have it heading back in this direction as we go into next year. So do keep that in mind as a very long-term outlook. All right, wrapping all of that together and the facts that we know that we've got this juicy system coming into the southeast today, not moving inland, excuse me, but the cold air that is associated with this is moving across Victoria at first and then a little bit of a warm wraparound coming in, but make it right up into Queensland as well. So I thought I'd show you this in action. I've gone to Stanthorpe in Queensland. That is, if you were to take Brisbane, go to the ranges right there on the border. So it's just on the Queensland side of the Great Dividing Range. This here, I've just skipped now through to Monday, and there's a snow icon. Exciting. Now, it won't be very much. It's just a dusting, and it's just a chance of that. It's heading down to about 2 degrees. So let's have a look at, let's unpack it, the different models coming through here. So they're all kind of liking 2 as the coldest it will go. That's one weather model that likes it. So this is on Tuesday, heading into Wednesday. There we go. Maybe getting something in the morning hours in through there. It is touch and go. As we go into Thursday, that looks a bit warm at that stage. And into Friday, maybe we might get something coming through. Okay, so that is a hint, the chance of some snow that is falling in through here. If we want to see actual snow, actually, just to prove that it is possible, welcome to Queensland. This is near Stanthorpe. Snow has fallen there before, just so you can see that it isn't completely unusual. All right, heading into some actual snow. Say you're heading to the actual ski fields. How do you get to this one? You go to Jane's Update. So you click on My Face if you're in the app. Then you click on snow, and up the top each evening I write a commentary. So here's my overall snow forecast, what's likely to happen, and then underneath that you have all of the output from the model guidance. And we're starting to see some actual big numbers on here now. Why is that? Because we've got that low coming in. It should have enough cold air to produce some great snowfalls. If it had a touch more, we might get some very interesting snow in very interesting places in the southeast. But at least here, this could be a bit of a Bor special because it's on the southern side of the ranges, and that would be 1.5 meters. Now, that is one model suggesting that, but at least the minor model in this one is 66. So that gives you some confidence that something is coming up, and we know it's because that low is nearby there. Here's the Victorian resorts, here's the New South Wales resorts, and even some stuff coming into Tasmania as well. So yes, it's going to be cold for the next week, but we'll at least see some alpine snow out of it, and we'll have some good snowfalls in the southeast, and perhaps The high pressure is going to be less dominant in the weeks ahead, perhaps moving out of the way to allow some weather systems to come through and tap into that moisture and deliver us some rain where we need it most. I'll see you again next week. Bye.